Back to another episode of Brand New Gig. This is the final one of the regular season. If you are joining us for the first time during this Thanksgiving holiday, we are very appreciative to have you as we are on Thanksgiving Eve. And if you're a returning watcher, as you know, we are holding you credible for our currently undefeated season. And with that being said, I am very excited to welcome this guest today. I know him very nearly and dearly, and he is the sole person responsible for why I am sitting here today. So please join me in welcoming my father,
Hello,
Chad
everyone.
Barrum.
Happy to be here. Excited. I've watched all of them now. It's surreal to be a part of them.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. He tends to, if you've ever seen him in the chat, you actually probably haven't because he likes to keep himself anonymous. And I'm trying to open the chat right now as we speak. But thank you everyone for joining us today. So with that being said, we're going to open with the segment that we all know, and it has become a tradition at this point, Off the Ledge. This is a bit of a change from last week. People didn't seem to have major concerns about Samford. This week, there tends to be maybe a couple more concerns. The first of those being, what happens if we get off to a slow start?
Before we even get into all the details of this, I just want to make sure that I say that the whole title to this segment has been my life story, talking my daughter off of the ledge. So many times in games, I get these tear-filled phone calls, and I just have to say, settle down, babe. It's going to be okay. Whatever I can do to calm her nerves. So I'm pretty sure that's where the idea for this segment was born out of. So I know where you guys are coming from when you issue your concerns for this. I always reply and issue mine. But as it relates to slow start, it's not a problem for me. I've seen how we finish. I know that's where, our strength lies. I've never had more confidence in our coaching staff in my lifetime of being an Aggie fan. And so for that purpose, I'm fine if we start slow. As long as we keep it a game, I feel like we are by far the best team in the nation in the second half. And the stats would more than likely bear that out too. So I'm okay with that one. Personally.
Well, yeah, given we've had the slowest start possible 2 games ago, we were at that game together actually.
Yeah.
And you actually didn't have to talk me off the ledge that much. I felt like I kept my composure fairly well compared to most games. But
yeah,
if we can have that slow start, and I'm not going to compare Texas to South Carolina, but I have a little more faith than I have in years past.
Well, I mean, there's a difference too in a slow start and an abysmal one.
Okay,
we don't need an abysmal start. We don't need a South Carolina repeat. But, I'm okay with us keeping the game close for a half. And, what we did with LSU, we looked like the better team for the entire first half, but we went into halftime down 18-14. But my confidence level was high because I know what we looked like in the first half wasn't reflective of what the scoreboard showed at that time. And I also had a lot of confidence having watched 30 minutes that we were the better football team.
Yeah, I called you from the bathroom.
Yeah, there was a ledge somewhere involved there that we talked you off of.
But then I made my way down to first deck when everyone cleared. So we saw how that one worked out.
For sure.
Concern number 2 is the kicking game. Not just for this game, I think if any game in the future is to come down to a field goal, this is probably...
Yeah, there's no way getting around that. The kicking game is a major concern. I think, I've said it, and maybe half jokingly and maybe 100% serious, is that I think our best strategy is for Elko just to tell the offense, we get in the red zone or anywhere near, we're inside plus territory, the 40, it's 4 downs, boys. You got 4 downs to score, and we're not bringing in the kicking team. So they already know it, pressure's off, and just go put it in the end zone. I wouldn't even consider it until we got inside the 20. But, we missed one from the 3 or the 2 against South Carolina. So it is what it is. I think we're a good enough football team, honestly, that it might not need to come down to that. But at some point it's going to. when it does, just cross your fingers.
Right.
That's all I
Maybe
can say.
it's just a cold streak. Because I was on Twitter today and Randy Bond did his little Fetty competition. He kicked a 72-yarder. So it's in him somewhere. You don't get recruited to A&M if you can't kick a football.
I just wanted to kick a 40-yarder. I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
Final point. This is a rivalry game. I would argue that the records right now are probably opposite of what people expected these two teams to look like coming into the year. If you have given most people these records and said these two teams are going to be playing, I think that most people would have flipped which team would have which record.
That's fair. Yeah, prognosticators preseason probably had it about like that.
So, with that being said, Texas is coming into this. I think most of their players and staff still look at it as they're fighting for a playoff spot, but they also know that we, in a sense, have more to lose, and they are willing to put it all out on the line because they know this could be their last game versus not that our players are going to be thinking this way, but we have a bit of a cushion in what this game could look like, win or lose. So what does that mentality look like?
I think a lot of the X banter that goes back and forth all the time is we're your Super Bowl, they're your Super Bowl, who's our Super Bowl kind of thing. But if you look at it legitimately as everything plays out for this game, this is their Super Bowl. And whereas for the Aggies, there's good and bad. I mean, if we win the game, obviously we're going to the Southeastern Conference Championship. If we lose the game, we get a little extra rest. We get ready for the playoff run. You get Le'Veon a little bit healthier. You get Scooby a little bit healthier. You get everybody's rest. And we get to host. We might likely fall out of one of the top 4 spots. Worst case scenario, we get to host a first-round playoff game at Kyle Field. I'm fine with all of those scenarios. Texas, they only have one option. It's win or you're in the Texas Bowl or something along those lines. And so this is their Super Bowl. And when you say, they have nothing to lose, I think that can be a positive and a negative in sports. I mean, having played sports my entire life, there's something to be said for being able to, lay it all out there. And might they come up with some more gadget plays and take more shots and play a little looser? Yes, but with that comes risk. And if the Aggies can capitalize on that, then we can play that to our advantage. So I don't think it's a factor really that would make a difference in how I felt about the outcome of the game. If they had everything to play for, just like we had everything to play for, I would still feel the same way about this football game.
Right. And on top of it already being a rivalry game, we'll talk a little bit more about game plan because it is just going to look different than the Texas we've probably seen all season. I'm sure just like Colin Klein Sark has plays that he's been saving for this game specifically. So that's going to be our little segment of Off the Ledge. I'm hoping that at this point in the season, the hope is not a negative thing for you anymore, as much as we love to joke with SEC shorts. I'm hoping that this can project us to getting rid of battered Aggie syndrome, as Mike Elko has shown time and time again. He keeps breaking the curses. So we're going to make this just another one to check off the list. But
what an awesome SEC shorts that would make when we finally realize the dream and hope and the Aggies come together. They'll probably have a wedding reunion, something along those lines.
It's going to be for January. We can't jump the gun.
Oh, well, I'm just saying it's on the table for SEC shorts. So it would make an awesome segment. I'm ready. I'm ready for that one.
T-shirt waiting in the wings. Just
they have everything at their disposal, and they always hit. They are good at what they do. No doubt about it.
Okay, when we talk about curses, we talk about battered Aggie syndrome. I feel like looking at injuries because that's what we've gotten today. We've got the first injury report of the week. I know another one will come out Thursday. So jump back into it then, but it seems that we're not hurting as much as we typically have in the past. Le'Veon Moss and Scooby are both doubtful. Yeah. Outside of that, Texas, I know, is losing Ty Anthony Smith for the first half, and then Anthony Hill is questionable.
Yeah, I don't know that one's been confirmed that he's out or not. I mean, if he's playing, he's probably playing with a cast.
So a little bit of a double whammy for them. So how much? I
think we win that. I think we win that battle. If you look at it going into the game, I think that also favors us. I think, and that's out of respect for, Ty Anthony Smith and Anthony Hill as impact players that they are. Them being out of the game we've played basically the last 8 weeks without Le'Veon Morris, and a great bit of that without Scooby Williams. So, what we have, what we're going to be missing, I don't think it's going to be as impactful as what Texas is missing. And so that's another thing that slightly favors A&M. We just need to take advantage of it. It's all there for the taking. And I think we have the team that can do it. I know that we have the coaching staff that can get it done. So when it comes down to it, you've watched enough football to know 3 or 4 plays in a game can go either direction. If 3 of those 4 go in our favor, we're coming home undefeated.
And there's not much to go off of because we haven't played for 12 years. So all we have right now is 17-7, which is not great. But we talked about Le'Veon Moss's injury, how different that impacted our team last year versus how it's looked this year. I think we saw the immediate impact, and it was very hard to overcome game after game. Marcel was kind of having to crawl himself out of the holes that our defense was putting us into, and just the lack of dimension that we had on offense. And now there's weapons on every single position on the field.
Without a doubt.
Which we'll get into more later, but what would you say is the key advantage that A&M has over Texas?
I think the biggest glaring difference in this football game is their inability to run the ball effectively, consistently. I mean, they can run the ball just like anybody else, but for the season, it's shown that they're just not an effective running team. And so when you weigh everything out in this game, I think that's the biggest area where the scale is going to tip a little bit. A&M is just so balanced. And, as an A&M fan, it's different being able to talk about that this year than decades past. I mean, we've never been so balanced across the board in every position on both sides of the ball. And it doesn't guarantee anything, but it sure makes you feel good going into a game like this. And so I feel like that's going to be the biggest difference. And we're going to, like we've done, I'm not telling you anything you haven't seen if you haven't watched Aggie football all year, but I think we're going to put them in some 3rd and long situations. I think we've got to make Arch uncomfortable. He's a very effective quarterback. I know Aggies love to hate on him, but he is solid when his feet are under him and he has a clean pocket. And but if you can move him off his spot, he becomes considerably less effective. And he's a guy who likes to hang on to it 1 extra second. He loves the deep ball. And, if there's just 1 or 2 times he hangs on to it 1 second too long in this game, I honestly think a little sack fumble is going to be the difference in this game. And it's going to be out of credit to Arch. It's going to be out of him trying to make a play.
Right.
And he's going to try to make a play 1 second too long. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
Well, and it's the joke of every game ever is when an opposing team is talking about their quarterback to say, get ready to learn Cassius Howell, on top of every other guy in our defensive line that has stepped up immensely after losing 3 guys in the NFL. But that might just seal the deal because, one, he has the most amount of sacks in the SEC. Second being Colin Simmons, obviously.
Sure.
That's going to be a guy. I would say Dylan Stewart is probably the next most effective edge we faced all year.
Yeah.
And he gave us a lot of problems in that South Carolina game. So I'm interested to see how we kind of adjust for that.
Yeah, I think obviously Cassius is who to look at if we're rushing 4. But the thing about Elko is you never know who you're going to get your sack from. I mean, we had a huge sack from Will Lee III at the end of the Carolina game. That's coming from your corner when they were to the field side, and he ran a little cat blitz and boom. So one thing, like if I could just have 2 wishes in this game, if you let me grant 2 wishes. First one would be that when we have free runners on the blitz, we do not overrun the quarterback. Sometimes we get so anxious coming in full speed instead of just breaking down and making a clean tackle. We're coming in so fast, trying to get there in a hurry, and we overrun the quarterback. And we've done that a lot. We did it against Taylor Green at least 486 times, it felt like, in that game. So that'd be number 1 wish. When we come on the blitz, come to balance. And don't try to make the hero play, just be there to make the play. And my second wish would be that Dez and Tyreek, those are the only 2 I worry about a little bit getting beat with the deep ball. They are going to take shots.
Yeah.
They love to throw the ball deep, hit or miss. They're going to take a lot of deep shots. We need to be in phase, and we need to not interfere. And those are my concerns for the game. If we do those two things, if we're just play man over, out of the slot, and whenever, just let Dez know his assignment for the day is you can give up underneath routes, but you can't give up anything over the top. If we do that and make them go the whole field and make them put together 10, 12, 13 play drives, they don't run the ball effectively enough to do that consistently. Right. And we're too good on third down if we put them into 3 third down situations each drive, no way they're converting 3 in a row. It's just not going to happen. So that's what we have to do. And Elko knows that game plan. I'm not telling him anything. But again, like I said, if you just let me have my 2 wishes, it's those 2 things. And that's not in the game plan, so to speak. As Aggie fans, we've watched it all year long. When we come on the blitz, we overrun the blitz a lot. Will Lee overran the blitz at the end of that South Carolina game, but he got back up and made the play on the backside. But I love Dalton Brooks all to death, but he overruns the blitz a bunch. And it really just happens out of our secondary. But I see Dayon and Cassius, Dayon more get wide and really give up the rushing lane. I don't fear Arch running like I feared Talon running. I mean, he's a good runner, and they're going to have some design run for him. He's more of a bang kind of runner, QB power. He'll run it between the tackles, but his elusivity doesn't scare me. He's not Marcel, and he's not going to juke 2 or 3 guys and take off and gain a bunch of yards. So, that's really the only thing defensively that concerns me at all is when we blitz, don't overrun it because you don't want to give him an extra second in the pocket. And, on defense, make sure we don't get beat over the top. They're going to take some long shots. Don't get handsy with them.
And it's not to say, because we talked about this, I think, right after the Sanford game, we kind of just looked right ahead, is not to, this is a message to myself, honestly, not to get in over your head if Dez gets called for a PI. If you lose, it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable to have a play go their way and change the momentum. And it's up to our defense to continue responding because you're at an away environment. This is a rivalry game. They're looking to repeat. They're looking to ruin our season in a sense.
That's the beautiful situation we're in as Aggies this year. And, God bless us, we're not used to it. But we're in a situation that we can lose this game and everything is still in front of us. We still have a chance for a national championship. We're still going to likely host a first-round playoff game. But all that said, anybody who's ever played a down of sports or a quarter of sports or a minute of anything else is going to tell you, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose a single game. And, more importantly, I don't want to lose to this football team. But all that being said, I'm tired of all the X banter. Roll the ball out. I'm ready. Let's go.
That's why games aren't played on paper.
Let's go. Roll the ball
on screen.
I'm tired of hearing about college playoff football committee and who they think's better and who blah blah. Just roll it out. I know one way we can find out.
Well, we got him on Friday. I will be in Austin. He will not be in Austin. He will be here in Midland, Texas. I don't know if I'll be at the game. We're still hoping and praying. Shout out. I don't know if my friend's right. Jack Corrales, if you're watching this, this is your shout out. This is not, he won 2 free tickets. This is not my plea for tickets. This is just my shout out for my friend, my dear friend, Jack. But flipping the script, because we just talked about Arch and we just talked about his offensive line. Marcel and his offensive line, who are Joe Moore Awards semifinalists, there's a bit of a balance there because, yes, the Barrum Goons have been, I think, not underrated, just they don't get talked about a lot because it's not a very attractive position to talk about when you have a Heisman contending quarterback.
Well, and you got weapons out at wideout and you've got studs at running back. Your O-line kind of gets forgotten, but I've always said it like officials or referees, the O-line has done a perfect job if you don't even know they were there, if you never mention their name. And, that's always been the case, and that's not a knock on O-line, but, man, give me an O-line that we've got this year, I'll take it all day long. It's a difference maker.
Well, and it's also a balance because I want to know your take on this. How much of it is our offensive line wanting to – because they talked about – I think it was Armage in the last press that they had this week is we want our guy Marcel to be a Heisman contender, and we can't do that if we aren't protecting him. But how much of it is Marcel's ability to be elusive, to know when to scramble, to know when to escape the pocket, and how much is it truly the O-line just being dogs out there in the trenches.
Yeah, it's a multivariant equation. Like I would say this, you have a very good, solid O-line, especially in pass protection. I think we can all agree that their weakness is short yardage run game. I mean, we don't have an O-line that's just going to shove you off the line when you know we've got to get a yard. But we've got a very mobile O-line, so you've got a lot of potential in the run game with, your pulls and your jet sweeps and stuff on the edge. We've got guys that can move. We've got athletic linemen. They can pass protect really well. You got to give a little bit of that component to Colin Klein and his system, and he gets the ball out quickly and gives Marcel, easy reads to make. And you got to give a little bit of that to the wide receiving core. I mean, we've got guys that can get open and get separation quickly, and we haven't had that in the past. When you're 2.5, 3 seconds in the pocket and your guy hasn't gotten any separation yet, it's tough for that O-line to hold up for another second beyond that. So as you mix all that into the blender, we've got a really, really good mix to be, what are we, number 1 or number 2 in the nation in negative plays?
Yeah.
So
tackles for loss at least.
Yeah. I mean, so that tells you that we're efficient. It tells you that our QB's making good decisions. It tells you that our running backs aren't trying to do too much and getting TFLs. They hit the hole and they hit it quick. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a multivariant equation. Like I said, I think the offensive line has a lot to do with it, but I think it's hard to catch the gingerbread man.
Well, he put the challenge out there. I put it on Twitter too. It's already at 50 bookmarks. So.
I'll tell you what, that's what I love about him. Before we went into Death Valley, a place that A&M hasn't won in 30 some odd years, he didn't shy away from the moment. Before the game, he said it. Hey, I want to go in there and I want to silence that crowd. That's the most hostile environment of all time. Like, sure, there's gonna be a lot of fans at Texas, but let's be honest, that ain't the environment that Death Valley is. And a lot of those people are, just wealthy adults sipping on whatever they're sipping on, and they're not yelling, screaming. There's a bunch of ravage.
Louisiana is not a place you want to be.
It's a different animal. And he silenced it. I mean, not only did he silence, he cleared it out. He cleared it out. So he's not scared of the moment. I mean, anybody who's watched him now for a couple of years, like we've had the pleasure of doing, he's a gamer. And the brighter the lights have gotten, the better he's played.
And he said that himself. He likes playing away games almost more than being out.
Yeah. So for that reason, I have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence in this game. And I haven't been able to say that a lot in the past, 20 plus years. Right. But when I feel it, it is what it is. It doesn't mean it's no guarantee for the win, but I feel like we are significantly better football team.
Well, I'm going off the script a bit because I'm asking you as an athlete. I've seen this kind of come across my page a few times because Marcel being in the spotlight, he's been in a lot more interviews. He's on the Kay Adams show today. People are talking because his name is everywhere, which is well deserved. But he presents himself very well, but he talks about himself very confidently. And I've seen this thrown around is that the more that you have to talk about yourself being confident, the less confident you actually are. What is your take on that opinion?
Yeah, I think a lot of sports psychologists would tell you exactly the opposite. I mean, you want to speak it into existence as an athlete. And I mean, you're constantly telling yourself, at least in your head all the time, how good you are. And if you're not, then you're going to believe whatever it is that you're telling yourself on the other side. And I think it takes a whole lot more confidence to be able to go on a national platform and say it out loud than it does to do it the other way around.
Right.
The guy that really doesn't have it, I'll put this out there for you.
Roll it out.
Who do you think is the most confident athlete in the history of sports that you've ever seen outwardly in the media?
Michael Jordan.
I would say Muhammad Ali, and it's not even close.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali, and it's not even close. And there was nothing that anybody he put it out there, and then he put it out in his performance too. And so if you think that that's a negative, you probably haven't had to play at that level before. because at that level, you have to be able to believe in yourself. Like, I want my quarterback to believe he is the best player on the field, whether he is or not. I want Marcel, when that game goes up, when it kicks off, to believe that he is the best player on that football field, period. And I got zero problem with it. Speak it up, gingerbread man. Do your thing.
Well, he hasn't proved us wrong yet, and it's not looking like it's going to be that way anytime soon. But you talking about Marcel tease us up, because I feel like this comment goes well. I think we'll have to establish the pass in order to open up the run. Texas run defense seems pretty stout.
Yeah, that's kind of been our thing all year. I mean, that's how we've done it. We've used the pass to open up the run, and for me, we are effective when Marcel takes the underneath stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we get into the passing game, if he'll be willing to take the underneath stuff, we are really, really hard to stop. And, I think there's two things that open up our run game: the short passing game for one, or passing game in general. But when we get into a version of our run game with the jet sweeps, whether it's in a handoff or whether it's a little forward pass shovel, you start to spread them out, and you'll start hitting some gaps inside.
Yeah.
And I just think we have to get I'm really excited that we have Mario back healthy. I'm really excited that KC's ready to roll. But I think we have to involve them in the running game quite a bit. But I've watched enough games. I don't really think we've pulled out too many tricks out of the bag to this point, but I watched Texas and they've had to. They've been in games where they've already had to. In the last game that they just played in against Arkansas, they ran a double reverse Philly special pass back to Arch. So I don't know what else they have left in the bag, but I know Elko will be ready.
Sounds creative.
He is. Yeah, he is.
No, I am very interested to see what he comes up with. But I know Colin Klein has a few pages back there that are collecting cobwebs because they've been.
Well, I hope he threw away the one with Jamari and Morrow and that option.
Well, we all threw it away from our mind because I tend not to think about that as much as possible.
That one's not on my favorites.
But in the spirit of Thanksgiving, actually, this is a curveball for you.
Okay.
What are you most thankful for this football season? Something that because you've been around a lot longer than me. You've experienced the battered onion syndrome many of years before I was even on the planet.
You know what? I'll tell you, that's an easy answer for me. The thing I'm most thankful for is that it's happening at this stage in my life where I have my family and my kids and my wife to enjoy it with me. Because I've gone through a bunch of seasons, wins, losses, whatever. I mean, when I was in school, date myself back in the 90s, Aggies were good. They were good. In the late 80s, we were dominating. We were dominating. But at this stage in my life, that's what I'm thankful for. That it's fun to be able to enjoy it with family. I mean, we've gone to almost every home game together as a family with your sister and your mom. And
I make my way down.
Those games to me are way more memorable. And so like, if you let me draw it up, I would have picked to have a year like we're having once I have all my kids. And, 2 out of the 3 of you guys, you're graduated from A&M. I've got one in A&M and I've got one on our way. So as much money that they're getting from me, they owe me a good season.
You think? Well, I am very thankful that it happened at this time too, because it's the first year that I started doing a podcast, and they've happened to win every game that I've done an episode for. So that makes things a lot easier because it's a lot more fun to talk about a win than a loss.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah. I didn't call you old, just aged, mature, wise. So much wisdom to offer.
I've got no problem with old. I've got no problem with any of that.
No, Old Aggs is a very renowned title, I think.
No doubt about it.
Comes with a lot of respect.
I wear it with pride.
See, that's what we're here for. But going into predictions for this game, before we do the score, before we do the over-under, how you see this game playing out if you were to write the playbook for this game?
I feel like it's going to be close to the vest. It's going to look a lot like last year to start. It's going to be close to the vest. I feel like it'll be pretty low scoring for the first half. It's so, again, to the point of anybody who's worried about a slow start, well, get ready. This is likely going to have a slow start to it. A lot of these rivalry games do. And, these coaches are making sure that they're not going to give the game away early. But I think we kind of start to put a little pressure on them, by midway through the third or late in the third. Well, I think we'll be up 2 scores at that point. Maybe it'll look something like 24-14, and it can go one of 2 ways. I think that's when Arch is going to hold the ball 1 second too long, and he's going to look for the deep ball because he wants to be the hero. And somebody's going to come from the backside. Ball's coming out. Ball's coming out, and it's game over. I think that something like that's going to turn it. Maybe it's early in the fourth when it happens, but I think that's what I see because it just fits the mold of what everybody does. It fits the mold of what Texas and Arch do, and they like to hit the deep shot, and they're going to be in a situation, if we can get the lead, especially if we can get it to 2 scores, 10, 14, something like that, where they're going to start feeling the clock pressure late in the third, early in the fourth, and they're going to have to start looking for chunk plays. And that's when we can feast. And so it fits their MO and it fits ours. It's not just a pipe dream. I mean, that's just kind of what both teams do. And eventually they're going to hit some of those early in the game. They're going to hit some deep balls, or they're going to get some PI calls going deep on us because we play a lot of man, because we run a lot of exotic zone blitzes, especially on third down. And, I think they're probably going to realize, especially if they're near midfield or anywhere near plus territory, if they get a third and long situation, take a deep shot. Worst that can happen is a pick. It's as good as a punt. So you're going to see a lot of that near midfield. If you're watching this game and we get them in third and long, anywhere in that between the 40s, you're going to see Texas take deep shots, I think, on that. So I know Elko knows that too, and I think we'll be ready. And I think we'll play some man over in those situations. And if they want to have the underneath stuff, give it to them.
Well, you talk about punting. It's probably one of the best special teams that we played against. I think Casey is one of the best returners in the nation, and Ryan Niblett is probably the closest guy we are going to play against who can rival explosiveness.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Niblett. I think Georgia showed you the blueprint on how to handle that. I mean, you're going to have to
just don't make yourself
take some 40, 45-yard punts that you can hit as high in the air as you possibly can. Yeah. Force as many fair catches as you can force. That's going to be a big field position thing. If the Aggies are having to punt from behind their own 40, then Niblett's a factor. But, if you can get a first down or a couple of first downs every drive, and keep the field position in your favor, every time you're punting from the 40, the 50, midfield, somewhere in there, then it really mitigates his chances for doing anything spectacular. But we have to be aware of that, and I don't think we're going to be able to just punt normally. And to be honest, in fairness, we've been less than stellar on punt protection this year.
Yeah.
Now we've gone to some different looks with that in the last couple of games. We were in what was a lot more punt coverage oriented phase. We had wider splits and gunners, and only 2 protectors. So I think we've narrowed those splits up. When you do that, you get a lot better. And a third protector back there, you get a lot better protection, but you give up some of that punt coverage. But I think they're going to be looking to get points wherever they can, because they know that they need them from some. And we're going to have to be in the punt game. We're probably going to have to go to the narrow splits, max protected for me, and I'll take a net.
This goes back to what you brought up, is how important the turnover margin. I mean, the only reason we scored was because we got 6. I expect that to be the case. I am fairly confident in the points.
We're put up 6 less.
There we go.
I'm good with it.
We'll take that.
Give me
keep talking issues. Going on. But now I lost my. Oops. Oh. Yep. Yeah, sure. We can be back. The turnover game is huge. Do you think whether it be turnovers, passing yards, rushing yards, is there a specific number? If one team gets more of this than the other team, that team is winning the game.
Turnover wise?
Just any statistic do you think could be the game changer?
Which one statistical category do I think has the biggest impact on the game?
That is the formal way of saying what
I mean, the easy answer to that question is always turnovers. I mean, whoever wins the turnover battle. But if you take the obvious answer out of the equation, I think if A&M runs the ball effectively, if you see, us in the 150 to 200 range plus.
So not necessarily having more rushing yards than Texas, but
no, I just
passing a certain threshold.
I just think if we run the ball effectively, I know what kind of balance that brings to our offense, and I just
how much that opens up.
If you're an Aggie fan and you haven't done this, pull up the schedule, any schedule of the Aggies where it shows the scores of every game, and you can look and see, the Aggies have put up this many average points all year long. Right. But when you see 37, 41, 38, 40, I mean, we hang points. Yeah. 31's a bad game for us. It would take the Auburn game's an outlier. And we missed several field goals and we turned the ball over in the red zone on a 3rd and 1 on a weird
game too.
Another weird play call by Colin McCline. It's like he's been masterful here. He's had absolute played that one. Auburn, North Carolina. But from that, I would say we score a lot, and that's going to be mostly contingent part of the we have.
At least they're on an away game.
Yeah.
For in South Bend.
Yeah.
And the trend does seem to continue. On top of non-measurable of Marcel rival rights proven.
Yeah. Right.
So
one thing he was just out there saying,
right.
There's plenty of stats out there to show you he's doing.
There's a reason we call him Highs Marcel. Anyways, tweet about it every day, and you should be doing that too if you're watching.
Go support your man. Go support number 10.
Yes, please. We are going to get him to New York one way or another. But now we can go into actual predictions. The spread is 2.5. Over under, I believe, is 51.5. You said it was going to be low scoring.
I do think. And then, that's a fairly low scoring over under for a college football game. I think the 50s.
Low under.
I would take the under in that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would take the under.
For all you bettors out there.
Yeah. Not that I'm giving any betting advice. There's my disclaimer.
You take it.
That's my disclaimer. But like I said, I think it's going to be something like 24-14 late in the fourth, and they're going to be in a situation, or maybe early in the fourth even, and they're going to be in a situation where they got to take some shots. And I feel like it's going to feel like a really close game for most of the game, but I think the Aggies pull away late.
Okay. I can rock with that.
Yeah, and it's going to be like any game you've ever watched with the Aggies. It's going to be a nail biter, and you're going to never feel comfortable, and
you're going to be sick, want to throw up.
Just, hey, that's what we live for, because when the clock hits 0 and you get the W, it makes it feel all the better.
Well, it also helps that you can know going into halftime, the script can flip. If we happen to be down going into the locker room, you just actually okay. No, that was good. I appreciated that. That was really good.
Let's flip it.
And if anyone hasn't noticed, we are twinning because I wanted to make this as cringe as possible. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. But Mike Elko's fairly decent at halftime adjustments, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe a hot take, I don't know. But he seemed to.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, no one's ever said that before, so. Yeah, you heard it here first. Elko's pretty good.
Yeah.
Might be why he got a 6-year extension.
Yeah.
6, is that right?
Yes, indeed.
So.
Well deserved.
It's a pretty good coach. I appreciate what he's done so far.
They said it took about 10 minutes to finalize that, so that tells you he loves Aggieland.
And we love him.
Yeah.
And Michelle. Shout out to both and all of the Elko family, actually.
So, yeah, you final score prediction?
Oh, you said 24-14. Is that?
No, I think final score prediction.
Oh, that was just a shot in the dark.
24-14 was where I think that
Oh.
the turnover is going to happen. We get the turnover.
So that's just
yeah. We get the turnover. We eat some clock. We kick a field goal. 27-14. They get
and we make the field goal.
They get a we actually make the field goal because it's inside the 10. And they get a backdoor touchdown late. 27-21 final.
Like an Arkansas type.
Yeah, just to make them feel better touchdown.
Okay.
Late in the game, they attempt an onside kick. They don't get it.
Because they have respect for us.
Yeah. That's a Nash quote, isn't it?
Someone said that. I am with you on the low scoring. I could see this. I still see this finishing as a 1-score game and not because of a backdoor touchdown. I think I will be holding my breath until the clock hits 0.
Well, you will even that scenario I gave because they're gonna onside kick it. But yeah, that's 48 total points. That's what I see. The under hits for you. The Aggies cover.
Well, you always emotionally hedge.
I always do. Anybody who knows me, I call it a victory tax.
Yes.
And I do it. It's only plausible when the Aggies are favored because I can win both ways.
Okay. For those of you who are irresponsibly gambling, as most of us young people are, give them like a 1-minute rundown of how to not lose money every week. Well,
I mean,
not that this is a betting show.
One, don't bet with your emotions. That's the first thing I would tell you. I don't feel good giving betting advice to anybody. I would tell you pick an amount of money that you know is absolutely disposable income, whatever that is. And if it's $60 a weekend and pick your favorite 3 games, the games you're going to watch because it makes it more enjoyable to bet on a game that you're watching. If you're betting on Pac-12 after dark game and you're not even watching Boise State and Oregon State or something, like I would say pick the games you're going to watch, make it more enjoyable, and have a plan to have 3 games, 20. And if you win your first 2, don't bet your third. And that way you're always guaranteed to be a plus 40 winner. And it's going to be hard because you're going to think, man, I'm on a heater. I'm going to take this 3rd game. But that's probably the best advice I can give you if you always just follow that and just go 20, take an 11 o'clock game, take a 2:30 game, take a night game.
You heard it here first. This is unsolicited. If you follow this and it wasn't effective, not our fault. If you follow this and it is effective, please give us credit. But I'm actually going to give you a chance. We're wiping A&M.
Call our hotline.
We don't have a hotline. We're not giving out our number. He's not giving out his number. Please do not contact him. Take A&M off the table for a second. Marcel Reed does not exist. He has no Heisman campaign. Who would you vote for? I'm giving you a vote right now.
Jeremiah Love.
Okay, that was quick.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love. I've seen enough of him for the last couple of years. He is by far the best player in college football at his position. Mm-hmm. So, I think if you say, okay, who's the second best running back in the nation, there's a big gap there. And that same conversation isn't true for quarterbacks. And I love Marcel, and my vote is always going to be for Marcel as a homer. But I think Marcel has a legitimate chance to win it if he plays well against Texas and maybe in the conference championship game. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's positioned to win it as we stand currently.
Right.
But I do think Jeremiah Love, I mean, however you want to look at the Heisman, if it's the most valuable, the most impactful, mm-hmm. the best, he's it.
Yeah.
He's it. And so I have to give him his credit with respect to that. And if you haven't watched enough Notre Dame football to see that dude is different. He's different. He moves different. He's got power. He's got elusiveness. He's got speed. He's got vision. He's got hands out of the backfield. He has he checks every box.
Well,
and so
I would expect everyone watching this has at least watched one Notre Dame football game this year, given that we went up to South Bend. we saw Jeremiah Love performed, and we held him under his season average, and he looked really good.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting in the south end zone for the Notre Dame game the year prior when they came to Kyle Field. And so I'm looking down the barrel on a lot of their run plays and just watching him hit a hole and make his first cut. It looked different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And he got outside on us a couple of times in that game, and he tore us up in that game. But, that's the first time. And I watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of football live. I watch a lot of football on TV. But when you're seeing it live, you get a different feel for it. And he did not look the same as other running backs. So I have a lot of respect for him.
Well, not to go on a rant about Jeremiah Love, but he's also splitting reps with Price.
Yeah,
who's also they're
really
probably
good.
Arguably the best
Texas boy.
Punch.
Let him get out of this. Let him get out of the state of Texas.
Not the first time.
Yeah, well, you can't get them all. Can't get them all.
But second question, this is going back to A&M. This is just for fun. We can talk about it now. It's a lock. I would say that we're going to be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it is a lock. That's already done. Yeah,
we can talk about this without feeling like we're jinxing anything. If you could pick one team that we were guaranteed to match up against, not because they would be the easiest matchup. Like, I'm not saying, I want to play Tulane because that'd be an easy draw, but more so a team that we don't get to play in the regular season, or maybe a rematch that we've already played.
Well, I mean,
whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, maybe contingent upon whether or not we end up with a first round playoff game or get a bye or whatever the case may be. But all that out of the equation, I mean, I think the obvious answers there too are to reignite some old, Southwest Conference and Big 12 rivalries. I never, ever do not enjoy whooping up on Texas Tech.
I've seen more cacti in my mentions this past week.
And I'm sure they would.
Than ever.
I'm sure they would love a chance to take us down.
Well, they've got a guy they think can win the Heisman too. So
yeah. Well, isn't he number 10 also?
Yeah, you could say.
I'd love to see him try to catch the gingerbread man.
Bet he was.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun matchup. I mean, let me think through who else. Anybody probably except another SEC team for now.
Right.
Because you get SEC fatigue going through the gauntlet of the schedule we have. I hear all the ridiculous arguments about how A&M has played the bottom 6-7 teams or whatever in the SEC. Yeah, but they're still maybe not all, 6 of the 7 are all top 50 Sagarin rating teams. So when we're playing the bottom 7 of our conference, it ain't the same as the bottom 7 of your conference. If they did football like they do basketball, where they have quad 1 wins and quad 2 wins, and so now they're looking at top 40, top 80, top 120. What's magic about 25th place? Like, I see that stat all the time. This is how many top 25 wins you have. So 26 team is trash then? Right. What does that even mean? So if someone is 28th and 31st and 38th, that means they're a whole lot better than your teams you're playing who are 72nd, 81st, and 93rd.
But it all just jumbles together.
But for the casual, it jumbles together. Don't be lazy and say, well, you beat a 3-7 team. Not all 3-7 teams are created equal. A 3-7 team in the Big Ten ain't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just me saying that as a SEC homer. The statistics bear that out. Look at the non-conference schedules. Look how SEC teams beat up on other conference teams pre-conference games. And look, if anybody can tell you the quality of players in the league, it's going to be guys that are paying millions of dollars to draft them in the NFL.
Right.
They'll tell you the SEC is a better league. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need some yahoo hiding behind a keyboard in his mom's basement to tell you that. These guys evaluate these players on a level that's entirely different from any of us, no matter how rabid a fan you are. And they're evaluating them as in-depth as you can, and they will tell you the bulk of them are coming out of this league. And we see it week in, week out. So say what you want. that SEC. I got on a rant a little bit there, but SEC fatigue is real.
I want to. It's been very apparent. The more that we win, the more that the argument has come up.
Yeah.
I won't name names. Brandon Walker. People have been saying.
I know, that clown's just a hater. Bless his heart.
No, but it's a good problem to have.
He sealed his fate with all of his antics on the sideline of the Mississippi State game when Texas came back and beat them. I mean, the only thing missing from that show was oversized shoes and a little tricycle for him to ride on. He's a complete clown. But yeah, that guy, at this point, it's almost just obvious that he just wants to hate on Texas A&M. And probably some of that comes between he and Casey Smith. I know they got a little bit going back and forth, but everybody who's been right there nipping on the heels in the SEC of trying to get on that top of that mountain in that Alabama and Georgia echelon. I just think it hurts him to see A&M is ascending into that rare air, and he doesn't want that. But if you are being hated, it means you're doing something really good.
Right. So, and there's a very common narrative that is very easy to cling on to is if you haven't done it, you won't do it.
Yeah.
Which applies to a lot.
Absolutely false.
But A&M, more so than most, is a team, a program who has had all the resources, has the players, has the staff, has everything you could ever want in a program, and it's right there, and we haven't grasped it. And this year
coming.
Could argue, and I am not of the belief that we are national championship or bust year.
No. I mean, that would be absurd. I mean, that would almost be pretentious because we haven't done that yet. So if you say that's the only thing that would make you happy, then you're not being honest with yourself. I mean, I think the fact that the Aggies have had the season they've had to this point and they're going to be playing in the playoffs, that makes a lot of Aggies happy already. I don't think that that's sad to say that, but at the same time, there's a difference between happy and satisfied. I don't think it makes any Aggie satisfied. Every single Aggie I know knows what we are capable of and knows what the program and the university is capable of. And watching this team, even all of the pundits finally will admit it. They know what this team is capable of. And so 100% they have a chance to win a national championship. But get ready because there's going to be a lot more years like that coming. I remember you were a young lady when you came to me years ago when the whole NIL thing was breaking out. And you said, Dad, what do you think this is going to do for college football? I said, I think it's going to be really bad for college football, but I think it's going to be really good for Texas A&M. Because now it's just a who has the biggest wallet game. And we'll sit at that table all day long. Sorry if you're poor. Sorry if your school's poor.
Money.
Yeah. I know about being poor personally, but I'm sorry if your school's poor because my school ain't poor.
That's one thing we will never be.
So, yeah, I mean, just get ready. We're not going anywhere. Right. We're not going anywhere. So if we don't get it done this year, that's okay. It's okay. Look at what 2026 recruiting class is doing. Look at what 2027 is doing. You locked your coach down for 6 more years.
Wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, so it's not a national championship or bust, but it's absolute gravy if we bring it home. Absolute gravy.
Well, we've got one game at a time. I see Joshy's here. Joshy says that it's going to be a really sad Friday evening for all the fans in here. And I'm assuming you're referring to all of the Texas fans that are watching this and silently not commenting. But I actually want to know what your score prediction is for this game because I know you are confident, which is fine. False confidence is really good. And I'm so happy that you're here watching.
Hey, if I was on Josh's side, I'd be confident too. You better be confident. Like I said with Marcel, if you're not confident, then you're probably going to realize what you believe to be true. That's going to come to fruition. So, Josh, you should be confident. But I have a differing opinion of how Friday is going to finish up.
And that's what rivalries are all about.
Yeah. And, I think we always, in this game or games like this, I've sat through a bunch of them. In my lifetime, since I've been born, I want to say the record between these two teams is 19-19, maybe 19-20. It's very tight in the time I've been on Earth. You like to hear all-time record from Horns all the time. And while we're out fighting wars for them so that they can sit home and drink tea, and we have like 7 guys left to play football. and so they rack up 20 wins in a row. Okay, fine. But there's very few people that are going to be commenting on these threads or watching this game that rivalry has not been extremely close in their lifetime. That being said, even years when I've gone into the game thinking that Texas was the better football team, I was still confident, probably like Josh, hoping we could pull it off. But I feel very different this year. I know we have the best football team. Doesn't guarantee anything, but it sure makes you feel different as a fan going in knowing that you're the better squad. And so you just got to get it done.
Well, we're talking about rivalries. Oh, here he comes. He's coming in hot. Let's see. They all kept their eligibility.
What's that?
Way back when. He's saying they all kept their eligibility. You could have had 30-year-olds playing. the 20 wins or the 20 losses we happened to rack up back in.
Well, however many wins you want to celebrate from the 1940s, Josh, celebrate away. More power to you. I'm not taking any of them away from you.
We're letting the next 2 days on Twitter entertain us for this game, but in spirit of rivalry week, say that 5 times fast, we have to talk a little bit about the other games going on. I think one of the biggest ones, it's very sneaky, no one's talking about it because of all of the hype around Lane Kiffin, is I can't bring that up, is the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl. Not that this game has major implications for the two teams themselves, but
Egg Bowl
going on?
Yeah, Egg Bowl has some elevated interest just because of everything going around with freshwater.
So where's Joey?
Man,
Never.
If I have been I think a week ago I thought he was staying in Ole Miss. If you made me,
okay,
my gut easily is for him to delay his announcement. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Maybe that's just to make sure that he finishes negotiations and gives his agent plenty of time to see what everybody else is offering and see what Ole Miss is going to counter offer and blah, blah, blah. But whether you believe him or not, Freshwater says the money doesn't matter to him. But I do think in his heart of hearts, he believes he might have a better chance to win a national championship at LSU than he would at Ole Miss. Because really, when it comes down to it, it's not just about NIL. If you took NIL and the market, just like it does in our free market and capitalism, bears out what a player's worth. And so every school is willing to pay that player about that amount. Some school may offer a little bit more here or there, but generally that's gonna equal itself out over the course of time. So you're right back where you started with, okay, now what's the deciding factor? Which school is better? Which school is more prestigious? Which school do I have a chance to win a national championship at? And I think LSU wins that contest against Ole Miss, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Because they're also a rival, but they do. And the only thing for me that would be holding him up from going to LSU is the absolute dumpster fire they turned themselves into after we emptied the house. When we pulled the fire alarm on Death Valley and all those corn dogs scattered, that
entire government.
I mean, that place just fell into shambles. It was crazy what happened. So I think that's really probably slowed his decision.
Yeah. It takes a very special kind of person to be willing to almost go in one hand tied behind your back.
Well, a lot like Marcel, one thing about Freshwater is that dude has confidence in his ability to coach. He's got confidence, and he's not afraid to tell you about it. But I've got a lot of respect for him as a football coach for what he's been able to accomplish at Ole Miss. he was almost just like the cockroach of college football coaches. You just couldn't kill him. He
No.
would just go destroy a program, leave, go to another program, flame out, go to another one.
Fans still have,
It's just crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, USC fans, Raider fans.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Raider fans probably don't even remember him. So, but yeah, that's where I would put my money is probably on LSU at this point. But I've been back and forth, and it would not surprise me at all for him to stay.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll check back in 3 days. He's
Yeah.
dead Saturday. Egg Bowl Saturday? No.
Following the game, so.
Is Egg Bowl Thanksgiving?
I think it's Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, so we'll know by the time we play our game.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think they said the Saturday following the Egg Bowl. It was a weird announcement from their AD.
Yeah.
I don't remember the specific terms.
Glad to not be a part of it for once.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to be in that drama. Been there.
We've got the Iron Bowl. Give me your pick.
Oh man.
Is that Jordan Hare?
I just don't think. I think Auburn keeps it close. Just kind of like I feel it's going to be real similar to the Texas A&M game. I feel like Auburn's going to keep it close. If Alabama gives the ball away, then you give Auburn a chance. Same with A&M. But I think by the end of the game, the better team wins out.
Yeah.
I just don't think Auburn has enough offensive firepower to be able to stay with Alabama, even at home, even in a rivalry game. I think emotions and adrenaline will help keep it close for a half or so, but even more so than A&M and Texas, Alabama's a significantly better football team than Auburn.
Yeah.
I think, A&M and Texas, those two football teams are really, really close. I mean, guys that know a whole lot more about it than me that set these lines, they obviously think that Texas and Texas A&M are about a 5.5 or 6 point spread on a neutral field.
Mm-hmm.
So they think A&M's about a 6 point better team, 5.5 point better team, somewhere in that range. So when it goes to DKR, it moves, about 3 points.
Right.
So I don't think Alabama and Auburn are that close on a neutral field. So I just give me Alabama in that one.
You sound like a Pat McAfee.
Oh, well.
But no.
There could be worse.
Well, I like him. He's grown on me a lot.
Yeah, I want Pat McAfee. I didn't like him early on either.
No, he grows on you.
I just wanted him to put some sleeves on early on.
Well, that's not going to happen.
But I do like him. He's real.
Less clothed, I guess, the days go.
He's real. I mean, what you get from him isn't an act, and he's just himself. Yeah. And so I appreciate him for that. And he brings some flavor to game day.
He does.
It needed it. It was getting stale. It was getting stale.
We're already hitting an hour, and it's Thanksgiving week, so we're not going to keep y'all too long. So I'll give my little shout out. I'm not at home, as you can tell, but I came prepared because I've been talking about this guy all season.
Oh, shining star time.
Yes, it's shining star time. I talked about this guy a lot preseason and the first couple of games when we were really testing out our defensive line and the depth that we had. And as a freshman, he hasn't gotten a ton of playing time, but he's gotten some meaningful reps. This past game against Stanford, Marco Jones led the team in tackles. He had 7 tackles, tackle for loss. He looked good. He's played in, I think, almost every game this season. He's not just in there when we're running out the score. Like I've seen
he's on kickoff team too.
Yeah. So this
you saw him run down Ahmad Hardy from behind in the Missouri game. You saw the kind of speed and athleticism Marco Jones has.
He's hungry.
That play. And so, yeah, he's got a lot of upside. I'm excited about Marco.
This is a guy that I will out myself. When I was doing my hot takes at the beginning of the year, I put him up for the Freshman of the Year award. He's not going to be the Freshman of the Year, but that's okay because he's got a lot of guys in front of him that look real good that I'm sure are mentoring him very well behind the scenes. So I'm very excited to see how he continues to grow. So I am not worried about the trajectory that our defense has taken. But with that being said, that is going to wrap up our segment of the final regular season game of the year, which is so sad. And I love that we get to play more games, but the season has been very special. And it's almost a little emotional that it's coming to a close on Friday, at least the regular season. But we will all be watching in unity. I will certainly be calling him at halftime. No matter what the score is. We will be debriefing, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
will hear it from me no matter what is going down. But it was very special for me to get to have my father on as guest. So thank you for joining me.
I enjoyed it. I've
I
watched
hope
a
you
bunch
did
of them.
enjoy
It's,
yourself.
it's cool to be able to get on this side of the camera and hang out with you.
Right. Yeah. You're not someone that's ever in front of the camera.
No, I'm not a camera guy by
No.
any means.
Very humble. Very humble, this guy. But we will be keeping tabs on Twitter. You might have seen him. He makes his way into some people's replies every now and then.
I'm kind of a, what do you call it, a lurker, really,
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Not a burner, no. He shows his face, so he's not afraid to say
Yeah, I am
things.
who I am. If you see my tweet, you know who it's coming from. I'm not hiding behind the keyboard.
So I'm not saying go out and follow him, but keep watch. I'm sure you'll see him in some mentions here or there. But that's going to wrap up our segment of the final regular season game of the year. Rivalry week, Lonestar Showdown is this Friday. We will see you all on Twitter. I will see a lot of you in Austin, maybe so. Until then, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all have safe travels. Stay safe on Friday. Stay safe this weekend. Go hold your family tight. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I guess this wraps up the regular season of Brand New Gig. But God bless us. We will be here for the postseason. So thank you all. Thank you, Dad.
Absolutely. Anytime. God bless.
It was a great time.